All right, what's going on YouTube? Strong back, another week in the books, and we are going through with my tower once again. So it's been a pretty cool week. Obviously, V27 is here. A lot of the dust has settled so far. We've had a couple of patch and fixes to things going on. So as usual, we'll jump right in. We'll start with the lifetime stats. And we are quickly approaching 700 trillion. Very exciting. Still 11,000 stones. And just curious on the lab coins, 78 trillion, 144 trillion in the workshop. Pretty cool. All right. So some of the big changes. Just barely missed pushing tier 10 to 8,000 waves, and quite the coin gain, which I will get to in a moment. And then down here, I pushed tier 15 to wave 300, got tier 16 unlocked, and we've now officially unlocked card masteries, which I am very excited about. Still 5,000 gems or so out from actually maxing out the cards, but I'm really excited to eventually get to this because there's a lot I want and definitely not enough stones to go around considering all the stuff that I want to work on. But this is definitely like a really nice point of progression to feel like that I'm approaching. And on top of that, I will throw the farm stats for the week on screen here. So, as you guys can see, the big thing was I decided, since my cooldowns are now at 3 minutes, I figured, hey, why not? Let's test the Singularity Harness that I have, since it is a Mythic Plus. And because of that partial sync, I saw an immediate gain in coins. And I'm not sure what took it from 9 trillion all the way up to 11 and 12 trillion, but very much a welcome jump in income. Obviously, pushing the waves definitely helped quite a bit, but this has been great. Now, the one thing that hasn't really changed too much, as you can see, is when they fixed the elite spawn cap change. I believe pre-patch it was 555 per elite. Now it's 888, which is a pretty significant difference. It's, I believe, one more than the old cap, or maybe even like 3 more. I don't know. But either way, I get up to 8 elites, or 8 of 1 elite on the screen now, I believe. So people are slowly getting back to their old cell count. I believe it might still be a reduction for some people. For others, it might be just fine. I think in my case, what's causing the drop in cells even after the fix is now that I'm using the sync harness temporarily, Deathwave isn't getting as many tags because of not using G-Comp. So I'm going to run a test actually for the next one and just see what the cell difference is. I'm expecting a huge income drop, but that's kind of the risk I'm going to be taking there. But all right, so there's the farm, there's the stats for the week, and tournament performance as usual. We're doing a bit better, it seems, post-patch. I don't know if people are struggling with the level skip changes or what. I did have a tough bracket at 13th, but my wave count for the most part is pretty steady. And we're getting into that at least like top 10 area a bit more consistently now. So I'm pretty pleased with that, how the week is going. Definitely some more things that I feel like I could be doing. The chain landing investment obviously has been very helpful. If I could get the 1 copy I need for my Dimension Core and get it to Ancestral, that would be another huge boost in damage, especially with the substats. So that's something I'm looking out for. And then obviously I need to keep slowly investing in the workshop for damage and crit factor. So those are going to be what I'm working on very, very slowly. The event, nothing too crazy here. As usual, everything's taken care of. Recovery packages, probably be done later today. Death Defy, I'll have to do off stream. Do some good old energy shield cheese. And let's head to the Goldbot, which obviously is putting in a bit of work now. So with the max range, I also put a click into bonus, so we're up to 4 times bonus now. Mixing in with the other multipliers, this is a great boost I'm noticing. I could definitely start throwing some metals into duration as well. The thing that scares me now is because the coin income is so nice with Sync Harness, it makes me want to lower the Goldbot cooldown as I lower the econ cooldowns so that I don't lose that boost. Because going from the 180 seconds to the 120 seconds is somewhere in the over 3,000 range, which is going to take weeks. I think that's, if I don't touch any stones, that's somewhere in the ballpark of 2.5, almost 3 months of just pure tournament and weekly box opening. So definitely have a decision to make there, but I think I'll have to obviously bite the bullet at some point. Lower the cooldowns together, break the partial sync, because partial's not an ideal way to be syncing anyway. So we'll have to investigate that later as I get more stones. And the guild shop, I did buy. I bought one gem pack just as part of the module pulling, which I'll get to in a moment. But we've got the background so far and the menu. I'll grab the profile banner with the end of this week. And I think I'll leave the Pixel Soldier for last. Probably pick up the relic. Now we'll get the Guardian and the relics, and then the Pixel Soldier, I think. But as usual, we can buy out the whole shop and then get 50 gems at the end of the season or something like that, so that's always nice. And then our workshop, I'll start with Ultimate Weapons. Nothing's changed. We've got, I can't remember if I did this last week or not, but I put that extra click into damage. I could up the chance, but I'm kind of split right now between the lowering of cooldowns or something different path maybe. But this is what I did put a click into GT duration just because I lost the substat, so a little bit more is going on there. And then just to the regular workshop, the only changes have been partly for the event mission that was going on before. I put health regen up to 5,800. It is cheaper than health and damage, so this is less cash that I need to spend in tournament anyway, so just gold boxing everything, which gets me a little bit more damage with project funding, is kind of the logic there. And our attack level skip is up to level 294. And that's the other thing. I think I've been, the last 2 days or so, I've been dumping all my coins into level skip just to kind of get there even faster. So I might even go ahead. I've been tempted to bump up the Cell Plus, which I'll get to in a moment. But yeah, these are all the same. I believe these are the same. And utility is definitely all the same. But yeah, I was tempted to put a click into cells per kill just to kind of recoup my losses from the patch per se, but I think focusing on the level skip will push the farms a little bit more slowly, and the closer I can get to negating the effect in tournaments, I think also might be a benefit. So I have to make a choice there, but I think I will go ahead. I'll throw 10 in there. So now we're up to 304, and boy oh boy is it it's getting expensive as expected. So another 5 is basically one run worth of a run worth of coin here. So yeah, we'll see how that develops. And cards, yeah, should set this to farm. So this is the farm setup for the most part. I've been changing things around. I'm gonna throw whatchamacallit, recovery package back in. And then I have taken landmine stun off because of the elite cap. So I'll probably keep it that way for the time being. But yeah, I'm going to do that GCOM test. So see how that goes. As much as I do want another card slot, being 5,000 and some change away for maxing cards, I just want to get it out of the way. So next event, plus this banner, it's going to be so tough to not to be spending. And speaking of the banner, let's jump right into that. So we've got it up to Mythic here. I need a bit more fodder to get it to Mythic Plus, but I'm at a solid 4 copies. I spent about 5,200 gems on it, roughly. So I'd say that's not too bad of a haul, but obviously I don't have enough gems in the meantime. And currently the talk of the town I'm hearing is that it's not working on bosses and elites, which is a bug. So if that is the case and they do fix that, great. I may consider trying to push that for Ancestral then. I imagine it might do better than this if I do get it to Ancestral, because I'll have a permanent damage reduction. Well, not a permanent, because I don't have permanent black hole, but having that damage reduction up as I pull the cooldowns down might be useful. But for the time being, since it's Mythic and I don't have the reroll dice to get it to a usable point, it's going to take some time for me to consider using this. So we will see how things develop there. But as of now, this is the farming setup. I was using the Singularity Harness, which is I'm running these guys here. And definitely a nicer boost in coin income, but we'll see if these cooldown drops and the extra death wave tags make a difference, because I mentioned last week I got the death wave quant to Ancestral, so that extra wave is very nice, which kind of effectively increases the duration, so to speak, of death wave. So I figure this extra quantity stacked with G-Comp making it go off more often. We'll see how that affects both coin and sell income. So I'll give that a spin. Let's see. Everything else is the same. I tried re-rolling Sharp Fortitude a little bit. Didn't get I was trying to roll for Thorns just to see if maybe it would help push the farm a bit more. Did not get that. Anti-Cube is still waiting here patiently for my Glass Cannon eventual transition. I would love to get Crit Factor up to like Legendary or Mythic, obviously. That would be actually a huge boost for tournaments also, so that's something I should look out for. But in the meantime, I mean, it's doing its purpose. Dimension Core also, I got the Black Hole Size to Legendary from Epic, so that was That's a change for the time being. But other than that, mods haven't really changed too much. I know I found another shrink ray while pulling for the banner. That's about the only other change that I was able to notice. So jump right into the labs here. And because of the elite cell change, I am in a big struggle period with my cells, as you guys can see. I was running 2 4-time speeds, and with that cell bug that we had at the start of the patch, it sustained me for quite a bit. But now that my cell income is down, I'm pretty much at the point where I can only run 1 lab at 4 times. So I think what I'll actually do, I'm going to take the speed up off of lab speed for the time being and dump it in shatter shards, because I was running shatter at 4x, but I was barely short last night, so I had to put it on 3 times speed. So I'll have to remember this later tonight. But thankfully, beating tier 15 and getting decently far in 16, I now have shatter shards, so that'll be another boost to my mods here. So I'm very excited about that. We still got what is it? Another 5 days or so once I get the 4 times speed going. So that'll be great. Shatter 2 is quite pricey, so might be a bit before I get Shatter Shard level 2 going. We'll jump into the history real quick. Go back to the 19th, I believe. Yep. So lab speed, I got the Wall Thorns to 13, which was intended just to kind of boost the farm. Or not boost the farm, but kill elites, the raise a bit faster during the cap period. And then also just a help in tournaments a little bit. If there's ever like plasma cannon resistance condition, I kill bosses just a little bit faster, which is nice. Module shard cost I got to 22. Yep. And I started health regen just in the hopes that it would maybe boost me a little bit further in the farm, because there's really not a lot more with EHP I feel like I can be doing. I had some conversations with some people on Ethan's Discord and the official Tower Discord as well, just kind of comparing different tier 10 farming points that people had. We were comparing workshop, labs, other stuff. And some people were like, wait, you're only farming tier 10 to this point? One person said they don't even have sharp fortitude, and they were farming further than I was. We were comparing, okay, what's your base health? What's your wall health? What's your regen at? And health regen is just such a quick lab. I figure there's not a lot of harm in trying to see if it works out. I did put attack level skip back in, just because I want to get that out of the way. Eventually I'll get health level skip going. And then, of course, lab speed is going. So what I'm currently thinking is, since I have a lot of stuff I want to do, I might actually stop lab speed at 90. We'll see. Because at 4 times speed, it's still going to be about 2 months to go from 90 to 99. So I figure that's a decent stopping point. We'll get a lot of other stuff going in the meantime. I need to boost attack speed up a bit. I can throw some more econ in between coins per kill, finishing GT bonus, occasionally throwing in Goldbot duration. Eventually, health level skip will be thrown in here. The shard cost will be thrown in here. And of course, if I get Shatter Shard 2 going, that's going to be another long lab back in here. So a lot of stuff. And of course, damage and crit factor labs. That's another thing that I'm going to be looking at eventually, restarting those again. So that is where the labs are at. We talked about ults, cards, and of course we got some gems waiting for us. So next week is going to be a new event, or I don't know, new or rerun, but that means I need another 1,000 gems for the card mission on top of the banner. So I think I'll keep saving for the banner in the meantime, obviously, and then I'm gonna see, since we do have that week off with the banner, there's no harm in actually waiting for the card mission, so I might just all in on like the last day of the banner or whatever, assuming the changes go through that people are speculating will with the new mod. So I'll kind of wait on that. But other than that, guys, that is going to be this week's Peek in My Tower. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate any engagement you do with the channel or the video. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have a great day, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are in the world. Take care.